Today I'm going to try to solo a level 10, 200 ring power per hour tile. Can I get the job done, and will it be worth it? Stick around in this video for everything that we can figure out and you need to know about taking a level 10 tile in Lord of the Rings Rise to War. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this Lord of the Rings Rise to War video, we're taking a very top tier tile, at least at the moment that I'm at in my server's progression. Now, I've got commanders that perhaps can get the job done, but it says here the defender has a level 35 army and there's 2 of them. So we're going to figure out sort of how that works with there being 2 armies. And let me lay this all out for you, what we're going to talk about in this video. First of all, we're going to talk about why a level 10 tile is really important to take, even though it's obviously going to be very difficult. Second of all, we'll cover how you can scout the tile to see what's there. Third of all, we'll show you the armies that I've got cooked up to take this thing. And last but not least, we'll take it, hopefully, hopefully, and evaluate the results. So, first order of business, why does this matter so much? Well, if we get a look here at the resource production, 1,000 per hour is actually not that much more than previous tile sets. If we look over here, a level 9 tile is giving you 880 per hour. Like, it's not that far off, but 200 per hour to your entire faction is amazing. Think about the amount of resources that is. Okay, it's huge. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's so good, in fact, that the game literally limits the amount of that can happen. 7,200 is the fellowship bonus limit. Okay, so people will make a fellowship contribution. I'm late to the party, okay? Look at this. Other people are way ahead of me. I need to go take some of these tiles, all right? I need to go take some tiles. Now, that limit bonus, by the way, it goes up based on your fellowship level, I believe, because I remember that number being smaller. So hopefully the amount goes up and up and up. And if you're one of the stronger players in your fellowship, you probably should be taking one of these or working with other members of your fellowship to go and take one of these sweet, sweet tiles. Now, on the topic of what's here, Defender level 35 with 2 armies is a little scary. I went and I scouted the tile. Now, scouting is not in this game. There's no such thing. But what you can do is attack the tile with basically a very, very tiny number of troops, and then you find out what's in the report. So here is my scouts report. And what I want to call your attention to is that I scouted this before reset yesterday, and there was a different commander, and there were different troops. So I don't know if what I've seen now is both armies that are on the tile, or if the troops changed around at reset. But after we do the attack, we'll be able to make that assessment for you, exactly what is in there, if it changes periodically, or if you can actually scout both marches potentially by attacking on different days or at different times. So what is in this scouts report? We see large units, big, bad, terrifying cave trolls, and not just a few of them, but a lot of them. Now, it is a very resistant large infantry unit. Read that as very tanky, and large is super relevant because you can counter this. And this is the main reason you want to be scouting. Because if you scout, you can bring marches that counter what the enemy is doing. Now, this video is not really dedicated to how you counter what an enemy is doing, but I want to talk about how I will counter these cave trolls, and I think it'll be helpful for you to figure out how to counter other stuff too, right? There's cave trolls and there's mountain trolls. Man, I'm getting trolled by this tile. Let me put it like that, okay? My dad jokes are so bad. So, you can also look at their abilities to get a better sense of what you're about to be up against. You also can tap the commander and see their skills and see what you're up against. It looks like I'm going to be hit by a lot of focus-oriented damage, burns, and poisons, by the way. I got to peek at this a little bit earlier. So, yeah, it's a little bit terrifying. Now, the other army that I had scouted had some infantry units, like sort of a footman type unit. Not actually a footman, but the equivalent for the dark side. And also more freaking trolls. So, what does that mean? When I looked at my army in my city, so I go to my city, I enter, and I look at my barracks. And I was just like, what options do I have, man, to deal with large units? I looked at my master throwers and realized that they have Giant Slayer. bonus damage against large units. Hello, baby. So my game plan is to bring a reasonable amount of these Guardians to try to tank, okay, because they're going to get the snot kicked out of them. And these are a low damage. It says it's low damage. Well, I don't want to just have a bunch of low damage units up front. I want to have some high damage freaking axe throwers in the back, and not just some, but a lot of them. That's my game plan, okay? Now, before making this style of attack, one thing you could consider is just smashing all of your levies and then spending them all down. I honestly probably should just go and do this. 1, 2, and 3. And 3? There's 3. Okay, my 3 levies are in. I can spend my final gold here on upgrades. And then, man, like, do I really want to tap myself out on gold? I can't even buy that. I can't. Okay, just kidding. I'm not buying any upgrades. I thought I was, but nope. Chisgule, you're not buying any upgrades. All right. So let's look at the army composition here, and let me show you what I'm working with. I have 3 commanders, Dwalin, Aragorn, and Faramir. Now, technically, I could sort of specialize these folks to counter the large units. That's a thing I could do, but that feels like an over-optimization. Call me crazy, but it feels perhaps like an over-optimization for the one fight to go re-specialize a unit. I don't know, man. It's also tempting to go in and just put some more, and maybe I will do this. Like, I could increase the favor, but I would end up using a ton of these items, which I don't really love the idea of doing. So maybe I just smash the fight. We see how it goes, and we hope for the best. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to bring my 3 marches. Now, again, what marches am I bringing? Dwalin has a large amount of those archer units. 3,600 archers, 2,100 infantry. I might be over-indexing on the infantry for the tankiness, but I really don't want the second army to just come in and obliterate my archers, so I want to have enough tankiness in front, because the archers are not designed to tank. Then I have Aragorn come in with a ton of additional archers. 2,700 more archers. I got 600 cavalry. Not really cavalry, it's the Ram Riders. And then 1,100 of my infantry unit. And then my next march is Faramir. And this is like the cleanup crew, and presumably the final march the enemy has either isn't all cave trolls, or, I don't know. This is just what I have, man. It's everything else that I have, okay? It goes in there. 1,850 Ram Riders, 600 of the infantry unit, and 600 of the archers. And this could be a disaster if my marches strike in the wrong order. So, how do you get all these marches to hit? And how do you get them to hit at about the same time, but in the right order? I am going to take my cell phone. No joke. And I am going to start a timer. Now, that timer is going to start the stopwatch. As soon as I send, let's see here, the first march. So what do I need to do? Because Faramir is actually the slowest, I need to send Faramir, and then about, let's say, 8 or 9 seconds later, I need to then send Aragorn so that he arrives just a little bit before this dude would arrive. And I'm just like, there's a 10-second difference between the time of these two, right? So just do it 8 seconds sooner. And then, if I look at the time difference here, 3:28 and 3:44, about 12 seconds after I send my first march, I should send Dwalin. So, just to run that back, Faramir launches, okay, at 3:44 march time. 8 seconds later, based on my stopwatch, I launch Aragorn. Oh my god. Okay, and he's got a 3:34 march time. So he's going to get there about 2 seconds before Faramir. And I think Dwalin, I want to arrive like 2 seconds before that. So I send him 12 seconds in. Oh my gosh. I'll double check my math, and then I'm just going to send him. Okay. Here we go. When my stopwatch hits 8, I send Aragorn. And 12, I send Dwalin. And that means Dwalin should hit, Aragorn should hit, and Faramir should hit. Oh, Gosh bless. I don't know if there's any buffs that exist to make this easier. I don't know that there is. Well, shall we? Shall we? Here we go. I'm going to smash the attack button. It's going to tell me that this is a very powerful unit. I'm going to say, don't remind me. Please, don't remind me. Okay, don't remind me that this is what's about to happen. And here we go. First one's in. Timer's ticking up. As soon as it hits 8, sent it. Attack. As soon as it hits 12, send it. Okay. And look at that timing, baby. Woo! Look at that. You can see the timing ticking down. For whatever reason, the marches are not quite in the same order that I launched them. Oh, that's because I have them in that order for whatever reason in my roster. I don't know why they're in this order suddenly, but you can see that the order is going to be exactly as I intended. It's going to be Dwalin first. Then it's going to be Aragorn. Then it's going to be Faramir. All right, well, look, I'll cut this part of the video where I'm walking and praying and hoping for the best, and I'll be back. All right, baby, we're going to hit. Here it is. You can see off to the side the composition of the marches. You can see the timing is just right. And honestly, I need a button that's like joint strike in this order rather than sending individual marches with a timer. It's honestly a little stressful, but you can send a march back if you really needed to. It feels like it'd be a little bit of a disaster from an energy standpoint, but whatever is what it is. Please, let's do this thing. Please, the losses not be tragic. Worst case, I'm very close to my city, so I could always refill a couple marches and send again, but that would definitely suck. I'm at war. Reinforcements are in. Reinforcements are in. Okay. It hit a tie, and then got it. So what happened? The first march was a draw. The other marches flipped it over, and we got the tile, baby. Victory, but at what cost? Oh, at what cost was that victory? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. So, the march was different. The first march was different than what I expected, which is very awkward. Scouting it was only so helpful. Because here's one of the marches. Okay. And this is, I think, different than what I saw. This was the commander I saw yesterday. I don't remember this being what was here. So this might be different after reset happens. Number of losses, 2,000. Okay. I mean, that exceeds the number of losses it would have taken for me to get a level 9 tile by a lot. It's like more than 4x. But when you think about the resources that it gives to everybody, that's pretty good. But the next army also had some pretty steep losses. Okay, 1,200. Not as steep as I thought. So we're looking at 3,200 total losses here. Even though, interestingly, it looks like Aragorn fought the second army. So this was a draw. This dude, Aragorn actually fought the second army. And he helped with the first army as well. So he helped with the first army. He got some losses here. And fought the second army. And Faramir, like, he did something too against the second army, interestingly enough. And here's another 400 losses. So 3,600 dead troops to take this freaking tile. I mean, it's not a small amount of dead troops. And this was the army I scouted, by the way. And it was the other army that was there first, which is really unfortunate because I kitted out this army to deal with the other one, not with this one. I do remember this being one of the units that was there. In fact, let me show you exactly what was in this other march the other day. Hold on. Okay, here it is. And it looks like it is exactly what was there before, right? Is that what's there? 1,300. This is my picture of yesterday when I was like, hey, what is here? All right, 1,833 of those and 1,805 of the other one and 73 of the tanky cave mountain trolls. Let me go back in game. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was in fact the same march that was there first. So It looks like there's some sort of rotation between these things. I still feel really good about having this bonus damage to large units. I feel like that was still very smart to deal with the Mountain Troll. Now, why is that so important? Again, the Mountain Troll in particular has a chance to, I think, taunt. Is that right? Does this one taunt? Maybe it doesn't. Either way, the archers hitting the infantry seems pretty good. I feel like, yeah, the ranged unit here, maybe, okay, so maybe some mounted units would have been good after all in my starting unit. Is what it is. If I had only been hitting against this first, these trolls, I feel like the way I constructed my army was perfect. That wasn't what I was hitting. At least Aragorn still had a ton of ranged units, and Faramir came in for the cleanup. I am glad it looks like I brought all 3 of those armies. They all were used, it would seem. And the grand total of experience I got was 32,000 and another 10,000 and another 26,000 and another 13,700. Granted, that, I mean, it was a lot of energy to go do all of that, but the tile was successfully taken. I'm so close to home. May as well run those home. And we got it, man. So what do I do from here? I mean, I think I look to take more of these sorts of tiles, but I've got to heal. 2 hours and 23 minutes worth of healing, to be exact. So, yeah, I'll be healing for a while. If you enjoyed this video, throw a like on here and consider subscribing for more Lord of the Rings Rise to War videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. And until next time, good luck taking those high-level tiles. If there's anything else I should have done differently, leave a comment. I want to know. I've heard the strategy of leading with a weak march with all the units you don't care about, but I don't love that strategy because I feel like that's just sending a bunch of troops to die, whereas I feel like sending the strongest unit gave me a good, I don't know, entry into that fight, and I did need both units, so that seems very important. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies.